Hey Raiders, we've got a brand new update that'll resolve a few major issues, such as a glitch where players could hop out of the map. There's also a new cosmetic, and unfortunately the hidden bunker event is still disabled. But not only that, we have a lot more to cover. With that said, let's start the video off by tapping the thumbs up button and the hype button below. Now let's jump right in. Alright Raiders, we've got some news from Embark Studios team member Austin that wrote, "We are rolling out an update right now, make sure to restart your client to download." And then they have a list of things they resolve, such as removing the zipline from Stella Montis. Yes, you know, the area where players would zipline out of the map and shoot you straight down inside the map, and there was really nothing you could do about it. Now, the second issue they resolved is right here. She wrote, "Fixed collision that allowed players to vault and fall through a wall in Blue Gate." I have no idea what that's about. I do believe there was an area where, I have no idea if they actually resolved it with this patch, but there's an area over there at Raiders Refuge where you're on the tower and you can actually fall through towards the bottom. You probably know what I'm talking about. Nevertheless, the third fix here says, "Fixed material issues that cause multiple objects to not block bullet fire or arc vision." That one's very important, but I've noticed that there are areas where I'm hiding behind a rock or I'm in a building and somehow, you know, a rocketeer is able to shoot a rocket through the wall, or some sort of arc like a wasp is able to shoot me through rocks and walls. I think it's strange and odd. Anyways, right here, the last one says, "Fix a gap in collision on Spaceport Launch Tower that allowed players to be shot through the wall." And that right there is a big one. There were quite a few cheaters out there that were using this to basically, you know, cheat, right? To shoot players through the wall. There was nothing they could do about it, and it was such an awful, awful experience, but now it's been resolved. Continuing on, Austin wrote, "We also want to give you a quick update on the patch cadence in the coming weeks. Since the release, we have been patching every Thursday to catch the most critical issues while the team was in full swing. Our goal is to continue to investigate and fix critical issues as soon as we can, but it will not be on a weekly cadence. From now on, our release window and store rotation will shift to Tuesdays. However, as the winter holiday period approaches, the team will be taking a much needed break so that we could come back in January ready to bring more updates. During this time, we will continue to monitor and work on critical issues. In the meantime, we are getting ready for a much larger cold snap update coming on Tuesday, and it will bring many different fixes we have been working on along with all the new goodies. We really appreciate all your feedback, which helps us continue to improve the game." There you go. So that right there makes a lot of sense, right? They recently announced the cold snap event, which is on the 16th next week, and that falls on a Tuesday. Oh, and also you can tell that they're going to take a break soon, but first they're going to drop that update on Tuesday. What you may not know, for those that are unaware, the Swedes will eventually take a summer break next year, and that is going to be an interesting experience because they take quite a lengthy break. I think it's like a 2-week break, and it'll be interesting to see what happens then and how the community reacts to it. But yeah, this is all we know so far. So, on a different note, you're probably wondering, with this update, will the hidden bunker, you know, I don't know, pop up again? Unfortunately not. There's a raider here that asked, "Hidden bunker still disabled?" And Austin wrote, "Yep, for now." It's still disabled, which is a huge bummer. I actually enjoy playing on, Spaceport with this specific event. I think it's so fun. But it's also sad to see that it's disabled, and if you don't know what's going on there, basically, you know, players found a way to get outside of the boundaries and then hop into the hidden bunker. It's absolutely nuts, but yeah, it's still disabled. Moving along, as always, the store is going to refresh, and what we have today is the new Gearshifter Set, which I think is not the worst skin so far, but I'm not a fan of it. Now, I will say it's actually better than the last one, and the reason why I just don't like this one is because of the yellow gloves. I feel like, you know, a lot of this stuff just sticks out. I really prefer the skins that are, you know, blackish, grayish type of tones with like the clothing. I like those type of colors, you know, something that's neutral and not just super bright in your face. Now, that's not the only item, because in this bundle, you can also pick up the brand new oil splatter, which is just a oil splatter on your face. that's pretty much it. There's also this one right here, spit in hands emote, where you're spitting in your hands, you're rubbing it together, getting straight to work, basically. But yeah, that's all there is right now with the brand new shop rotation. There's nothing else here, and yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think about this game. Are you going to purchase it, or are you going to pass? Personally, I'm going to pass until I see a skin that I think I'm going to absolutely rock all the time. Oh, and also I should mention this. If you're wondering, has the expedition bug been resolved with the recent update? Unfortunately not, but there is a question here that this raider asked, saying, hey, you know, is there going to be any update where the expedition bug will be resolved, right? Are they working on it? And Embark Studios team member wrote, team is looking into it. You know the usual response, right? Hopefully it's resolved very soon. I think that's something we absolutely need, especially for those players out there that are just, you know, not able to progress forward with the expedition. Because if you don't know, certain steps are kind of locked and there's no way for these players to progress. Alright, let's move along. So, recently the developers dropped a brand new announcement about the Cold Snap event. However, there's something interesting about this image. If you take a closer look at the backpack, we can see there's a breaching tool. However, this looks different from our typical breaching tool that we spawn in with, right? You can clearly tell that the top portion of the tool is orange, and there's a silver color to the bottom section. Also, I can't tell whether the outfit the raider is wearing right now, or in this image, is new or not. If someone can chime in, post a response in the comments below, and let me know if this is a new or old outfit. Nonetheless, I also want to point out that in the cosmetic shop, there's a shop item with a banner that's got a breaching tool we haven't seen yet, and we can't use this particular cosmetic for the tool. There's no option, right? Anyway, they also announced that the Cold Snap event will appear in-game on the 16th of this month. Overall, it definitely seems like Embark Studios is planning on releasing a new feature that allows us to use skins for our breaching tool. If you have any thoughts or opinions, let me know. Let's switch topics and discuss legendaries. It seems like legendaries aren't really that effective, especially for PvP. For instance, right here, this video clip is from Zanfear69. That you can see clearly that this legendary here, this specific legendary weapon, was ineffective. They got completely wrecked. Yeah, unfortunately. And this is the same situation with the Aphelion. It's really not that great for PvP. Perhaps it's better if you use it on Arc, but if I recall correctly, it's not that great either, at least in my opinion. But this right here needs to be talked about, right? A lot of players need to discuss this because the legendaries need to feel legendary. Because there are some epic tier weapons that are way more useful than the legendaries, which to me, that doesn't make sense. But let me know what you think about this. Do they need to buff the legendaries or not? Let's talk about it. Finally, let's go over the last topic for today's video. Embark Studios confirmed earlier this morning that they've got merch available. For example, you can now purchase a cassette tape. What's cool is that the Embark Studios team sent me a content creator package last month, which include a beautifully designed box with the artwork, a cassette tape, a cassette player, a fanny pack, stickers, a note from the team, and headphones. There might be more, but those are the main items I wanted to point out. With that being said, the cassette tape contains the same exact soundtrack, just like this one here that you can buy, though the design is a bit different. They've also got hoodies available in different colors. So my question for you is, what are your thoughts about the content creator package I received? Also, let me know what you think about the merch that's available now. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's see what you have to say. Lastly, we've got the top comments first from Anomic that said, "We know, stop bothering us." And that right there is basically a made-up quote about how the community managers have often said, hey, we're aware, we know, blah, 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 blah. The second top comment is from Skinny420Man, interesting username. You said you found the Tempest BP buried in 9 apartments. You extracted, it was then just gone. It disappeared, you know, with the whole bug. You made a ticket, and the items were returned in 23 minutes. The last and final comment is by Masito123 that said, the problem's not the bugs, the problem is that they are aware of everything, but no fixes are being released. Fair point there, my friend. But yeah, those are the top comments. Hope you have enjoyed today's video. As always, if you could do me a favor, tap the thumbs up button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's talk about everything we've discussed so far. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.